Hey everyone, I'm not dead yet. Even though I do look like I just came out of a cave. I didn't. I'm still inside of it. It's called my house. I've been inside for months. I hate this pandemic. I hate it so much. And let's just get it out of the way. That's not my wallpaper. Well, it is my wallpaper, but I'm not the 70-year-old lady who picked it. I'm the guy who bought it off a 70-year-old lady, and now I haven't gotten around to replacing it yet because I'm working in different rooms, because I'm not in the room where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the room I'm stuck in because the other room doesn't have a floor right now. Anyway, to give us all something else to be mad about in these quite interesting times, or like have a week where something interesting doesn't happen. Today, we're going to talk about an ASMR/mukbang YouTuber named Ssoyoung from Korea. And this is where I put in a little trigger warning. There's quite a few things in this one that's not up to code. Now, on a pure personal level, I hate ASMR. It's where someone derives some sort of pleasure and enjoyment out of it. I get the feeling of torture. So, for me, watching this was torture on its own. Now I had to add some spice on this one, so now if you enjoy it, that's fine. Enjoy what you want. If you enjoy ASMR, I don't have a problem with doing like anything else, whatever floats your boat, as long as I don't have to do it. But there is a limit, and well, today I found that limit. The limit is the torture of animals. Because that's what we're going into today. A YouTuber who has decided that for her ASMR/mukbang videos, she is going into the realm of torturing seafood. And again, here's where we put in a disclaimer. I am not a vegan. There is no issue with eating meat. The problem we're dealing with here is very simple. When you eat meat, you have to do it ethically. By that it means, you limit the stress on the animal. You make sure the animal had a decent life, and you minimize the pain and suffering it has to go through for you to eat it. In this particular case, it appears to be the opposite. You increase the pain and suffering of the animal for entertainment purposes, which is disgusting. So now you're probably asking the question, what kind of fucked up shit is she doing for me to say that? I figured we'd start in the minor section, and this is minor in comparison to what else she does. It's not minor in the department of it being nothing. I mean, I was told not to play with my food as a kid, but that's just a whole new level of playing with your food. Most fish can't breathe out of water. It sounds weird for us because we're developed to breathe air. They're developed to breathe, oxygen through water. They don't even have lungs, most of them. So what she's effectively doing is she's suffocating the poor little things for no other reason than to make a clip on YouTube. And that's despicable just in its own right. You're suffocating an animal just so you can make this clip where she looks all, and this is wrong. Now, a little facts about her. She has 5 million subscribers, and she has anywhere between 25 to 60 million views a month. Now, I've seen some analytics on some YouTubers. I've seen people with less than 15 million views a year make $65,000. Now, you do the math on how profitable this shit is for her. In a nutshell, torturing animals has been very good business for her, which is deplorable. Of course, there's ads all over the place. It's not even age-gated. So beyond the suffocation, how else does she torture animals? Well, have you ever had salt poured into an open wound? It's quite excruciating, really. You see, most fish, for their outer layer of skin, well, we have, regular skin. Beyond the scales, they have a slime coating that protects them. It's very important. It's very efficient too underwater. Outside of water, it's not very efficient. This basically means when they're out of water, they can be extremely exposed to injuries, damage, and so on and so forth. It means that they're basically missing the outer layer of skin when they're out of water. On top of that, as I mentioned, most of them don't have lungs. They have gills, which means they breathe through their gills. And as you know on a fish, they're right here and they're exposed. All you have to do is just open the flap and you can literally see this organ. It is an exposed organ, basically. Now, remember when I mentioned salt? This is the part where I mentioned the recent study showing that fish feel pain. Link down below. Imagine having your entire outer layer skin compromised and then salt dumped all over your body, and it almost immediately reaches your exposed lungs. That is basically what she just did to those fish, just to have that clip in that video and sit there and be all squeamish about it. That's deplorable. What's also deplorable is people enjoyed it so much, she did it again. And just like with many of my videos, that's the core of the problem. This is the exploitation of animals, the torture of animals for the sake of views, fame, and money. There's no reason beyond that. It's not for food, it's not for survival. She could easily go out and get a different job. South Korea is not a poor country. The torture of animals for nothing but views and money is an ethically and morally bankrupt thing to do. It is disgusting. Just because an animal is incapable of defending itself doesn't mean we have the right to do whatever the fuck we want with it. Taking an animal's life for entertainment is not okay. It should only be done in case of food, and it should be done quick and painless. Torturing an animal just so you can then follow that up with finally putting it out of its misery and eating it just to make a YouTube video that gets clicks is just disgusting. And unfortunately, it gets worse, because now we're gonna go into what she does to squids and octopus. Animals who are notoriously difficult to kill if you don't know what you're doing.
잘 안 잘리네요.
Yeah, pretty much doing that whole seance. They're not dead. Those animals are alive and are in pain. Imagine if she did it to a pony. But this is the level of torture she's willing to put an animal through. She's not even flinching at it, because it's just an octopus. Who cares, right? That animal doesn't have feelings. Actually, it does. It's one of the smartest creatures in the sea. To me, that's about 500 steps too far. So of course she's happily doing something much worse to Squid.
가만히 있어, 가만히 있어, 가만히 있어, 가만히 있어, 가만히 있어. 자, 일단 한 마리 손질.
The head is still attached to all of the organs and brain and all that, so that animal is very much still alive. It would be screaming in pain right now. She didn't dress it, she mutilated it. Now the correct way would involve, I don't know, killing it first. There's even a tool designed to kill squid immediately, so you don't torture it like that. She basically skinned it alive. Now, then she followed that up with pouring sauce over them and watching them dance like her little fucking puppets in some twisted sick joke. And I'm not putting that in because that's just going too far. I don't want to show that. Now, at this point, the fact that she eats them alive I'm numb to it. I'm just sitting here going, hoping maybe it doesn't die on the way before she swallows and it gets stuck in her throat. Which is a sad thing to say. It just almost pales in comparison to the torture she's already put the poor animals through. Having to research this video was one of the hardest ones I've done. Because it's one of the first times I can't place it off on ignorance. I can't place it off on stupidity. I can't put it off on, people doing it for survival. This is someone living in a pretty well-off country who's decided that this is what she wants to do. This is how she's going to make her money. In YouTube's terms of service, animal abuse is covered. But because they're not furry little critters or a pony, nobody cares. Because she had to get approved for this. Somebody saw it and decided that's okay. And that has just emboldened her with more people watching and then subscribing and watching more. She gets an amount of views where even with low CPM, it's insane how much money she makes from it. That kind of scares me a little bit. That people are that into torturing of animals because they don't see them as living beings. I mean, if it was a pony she did that to, people would have her head on a platter. But because it's a fish or a squid, nobody cares. And here's the thing. We should give a crap about all living things. Especially the ones we eat. We're better than that. We should give a crap. We should care about how our food are grown, how our food lives their lives if they're animals. Death is part of life, and meat is a food source. That's just a fact. But it matters how you treat it. Otherwise, you're not even worth calling an animal. Animals are developed to kill fast, not slow. What she does is deplorable, but the people who enable it by supporting her is just... I'm willing to say they're worse, because their efforts is so tiny, yet they still chose to endorse it. And that's despicable. That's gonna do it for today's video. Thank you for watching. It truly means a lot. If you want to, please leave a comment. It's okay if you don't. If you wanna like the video, that's okay. If you want to dislike it, that's fine too. I don't really mind. If you feel the need and the desire to actually watch more of my videos, go ahead and subscribe. That means a lot to me personally, but it's also perfectly fine if you don't. And I hope I didn't ruin your day too much. And that you have a decent day. And until next time. Bye.